Welcome back. This is a Business Center on Metropole TV. Today we are digging into matters agriculture, and like I promised you, we are talking matters bamboo farming right here. Remember, just last week, about 2 weeks ago, government decided to declare bamboo trees as a cash crop. We want to know what does this mean and much more about bamboo farming. And right here in studio I have Victor Mwanga. He's the chairman of Bamboo Association of Kenya. Thank you so much, Victor, for making time for us.
Thank you, Victoria. It's a great pleasure to be here today.
All right.
Just to talk about bamboo and indeed the environment in this country.
See, when you mention bamboo, I mean, I think my village, I see a lot of bamboos there, and I don't even know the value of bamboo.
Yes.
So by government declaring it a cash crop, what does this mean?
We need to look at bamboo in various contexts. And I like it that you have it in your village, so that means that I have it in my village too. And if you ask any Kenyan, they'll tell you that they've seen bamboo. And it's for that simple reason that you have bamboo in so many vernacular languages. For instance, the Kikuyu call it mirangi.
Mirangi.
Yes, the Swahili call it mianzi.
Mianzi.
The Luo call it modi. The Luya call it vidundu, depending on where you come from. Yeah, the Maasai call it Olaitikin or something. Yeah. The Kalenjins call it chegat. So that means that bamboo is part of our culture.
Exactly.
It's been with us. And what I've come to realize a lot in terms of tree species and plant species is that if you have a species that has a local name, that means that that species is impeded in that community's history. That is not a name that was brought up. So government is not reinventing the wheel. Government is just looking at a resource that has been available with us in ages and saying that, listen, there's so much pressure today on our forests, both gazetted forests, which is public land, and forests that you and me are developing on our own land. Then we are cutting all these trees down. And so as government is trying to push the 10% forest cover, the use of trees, the demand for trees supersedes the supply. So that means that every little tree that is growing, someone is already earmarked it for a market. So introduce bamboo because it is the fastest growing woody plant in the world. Yeah? And we can use it for various applications. Yes, you can use it as cloth.
Wow.
Yeah, I mean they're bamboo cloths. You can use it as firewood. You know, you can use it as furniture. You can. There are more than 10,000 uses of the bamboo, and so that means that you're just reducing the pressure on our forests and indigenous trees and converting that into use for bamboo, bamboo which is sitting on our private farmlands. So that means that the tree that you have on your piece of land then sits in a relaxed manner. It takes comfort, it's growing, because now all the focus is on bamboo, that we can now utilize bamboo. So government decision is informed by, one, it is the fastest growing woody plants. Two, it can grow across many ecological zones in Kenya, if not all. Three, it does not require fertilizer to plant. It does not require any specific management other than harvesting. You manage bamboo by harvesting it.
Wow.
Yeah. So that is specifically the reason why governments made the decision to classify bamboo as a cash crop, reduce pressure from forests, and commercialize bamboo. So we're going to see a lot of improvement in the acreage and the growth of indigenous trees because focus goes into bamboo. Plus now farmers can make money from bamboo. So the bamboo that has been sitting in your village idle, now
you can start budgeting.
Yes, you can now start looking at it. Other than probably the worst memory that you have heard of bamboo is when you were in school and teachers, when caning had not been banned, teachers were going there to get their cans. So now we commercialize it and we remove the stigma around it. to now make it something that we can own and we can make money out of it. Yes.
You mentioned that it's fastest growing, wood tree.
Yes.
So for how long, if I'm into bamboo farming, how long would I take to start harvesting them?
First, we take away the word tree, because bamboo is a grass.
Okay, grass.
Yes, it is a grass. And the biggest grass, fastest growing. Depending on the ecological zone that you are in Kenya, bamboo will take you a minimum of 3 years to mature and maximum of 5 years. So within a period of 3 to 5 years, you hit the peak of harvesting your bamboo, which means our traditional trees will not have matured within that period of time. So that is the difference. Yes.
And there's always, they used to say that when a bamboo is growing, it starts with the roots first. So they go deep, then now it starts shooting. I mean, clarify that. Is this true?
There's lots of myths around bamboo, and indeed, what bamboo does, it takes time to establish itself. And that is, you will allow me to digress a bit, because when we're looking at bamboo, you need to look at bamboo in context with the environment. Yes? So, bamboo does not have a taproot. It has fibrous roots. So that means it doesn't send any roots deep into the soil. Yeah? So it's a grass again, as I said. So what happens is you grow your bamboo, it starts to develop its root system. As it develops its root system, and if you have hard pans on your piece of land, it starts breaking that hard pan and allowing air to get into the soil. So what we advise farmers is plant your bamboo, because the spacing is 5 meters by 5 meters. So you have 25 square meters in between your 4 bamboos that you can now utilize to plant your indigenous trees.
Okay.
And as the bamboo breaks up the soil and introduces air into the soil, that means the soil texture improves. That means that your indigenous trees in between the bamboos now accelerating growth. And because it's so fast growing, as it grows, it starts pushing, competing for sunlight with the indigenous trees. So that means that your indigenous trees are growing at almost the same pace with your bamboo. Now when it gets to maturity, you start harvesting your bamboo. Now you don't require the indigenous tree. And now you form what is called a double canopy forest. You have your indigenous trees up in the air, and then a second canopy, you have your bamboo under the indigenous trees. And now as you start using it for firewood, making your charcoal, making your furniture, making your beadwork, and all these things that we're talking about, our cottage industries, how do we drive the cottage industries in Kenya? When tourists come here, we use bamboo. So we just take the pressure away from the indigenous trees and focus on bamboo. And bamboo is sustainable. You harvest it. You go in, you don't do clear fell like we do with forest plantations. You go in and harvest what is mature. So on a bamboo clamp, which is that single unit of bamboo, you ideally need to keep about 30 to 50 stems, which are called calms. So you only harvest what is mature. So you get in, you harvest, you go out and use it. So at no particular time will you ever get into that forest land and realize that you're losing out on forest cover. You still have your forest intact because you're just taking out what is mature. Sustainability is that you can come in, harvest today, come in, harvest tomorrow, and keep on harvesting. And the average use span of bamboo is about 120 years. So it's a 5-generation cash crop. You don't need to get in back and start thinking of planting afresh.
And what's the land size, since now the roots spread? What's the land size does someone need, at least the least land size, to grow bamboo?
Again, I want us to look at that in the context of tea. You see, today, before, say 30 years ago, you needed to be an estate to have a tea bush. But today, that has been demystified. With KTDA coming on board, and all these small tea processing factories, a farmer who has 200 acres of tea bush has an equal chance of selling their tea to that person who has a quarter acre. So that is the same thing with bamboo. Once you get into processing, it does not really matter what kind of piece you have because this bamboo is going into an outlet. Yes. But if you want to do your own value addition at home, you want to utilize your own bamboo so that you are doing a full value chain proposition, then you need at least a minimum of half an acre to do some bit of value addition yourself at home. And that can actually make toothpicks. I don't know why we keep on importing toothpicks from China. Yeah?
When you have the raw material right
yes,
here.
we have the raw material here. And remember, in China, because of the adverse weather conditions, they have about 6 months where their bamboo is not growing because either it's too hot or it's too cold. Here in Kenya, bamboo grows every day. It doesn't have any effect on weather. But you and me get into any departmental store or kiosk, yeah, and we're buying toothpicks branded made in China, honestly speaking.
Sad.
You go down to the coast, and we all love mishkakis, and you see a mishkaki, and on the stick, as they pull it out, it's a mishkaki made, a mishkaki stick that has been imported from China. Honestly speaking, this can actually be done by our TVETs. And government, again, needs to be needs to make a deliberate attempt to introduce bamboo curriculum in TVETs so that we start doing some of these things. So again, in terms of interlink, you have bamboo interlinking into agriculture, interlinking into environment, interlinking into youth, into education, and so on and so forth. Yes.
All right.
But
yes, go on.
But most important, how can we use bamboo as a cash crop to reduce the pressure on our forests so that as a country we can achieve our 10% forest growth, whilst making sure that communities, rural communities, have money in their pockets, that we are taking money down to that mama in the village, to that youth in the village, that he is able now to do something and send it into Nairobi, into an outlet. And so that is the most important thing. Make this a cash crop, put money in communities' pockets, take care of the environment, and reduce pressure on our forests. So that even organizations like where I belong, where we are doing, we are working towards 10% forest cover, we are not planting trees that people will encroach in tomorrow and start getting them.
Victor, I don't want to let you go before you answer me a few of these questions very shortly. Where the species of bamboos, 20 were tested, 12 passed the test. What caused this?
It's basically the ecological zone. We have bamboos that grow at zero level, that is on the coastal strip. As you come up, as the altitudes change, the bamboo keeps on growing. In Kenya, we have one indigenous bamboo. It's called Eugenia alpina. It grows at 2,400 meters above sea level. Yeah, up to 3,300 meters above sea level. So that is why you find it a lot in the Aberdares, in Mount Kenya, in Cherangani, in Mount Elgon. But remember, I said each community in Kenya has a name for bamboo. So these 12 are probably bamboos that existed in our communities that we wiped out because of land pressure, and now they've been reintroduced. So the 12 means that we have now 12 species that can be grown in all the altitude ranges in this country.
All right. And finally, Victor, how many bamboo farmers do we have in Kenya?
Today, under the Bamboo Association of Kenya, we have about 240 farmers and players in the industry. But as you said, almost every village has a bamboo farmer unknowingly, that they have their bamboo on the farm, but they don't know that they are bamboo farmers. So if you were to check that and prorate it, as we have done in the association, there are about 25 to 30,000 farms that have significant size of bamboo that can be utilized in this country.
All right.
And we can talk about bamboo the whole day.
Definitely. This, I mean, we need a whole hour or 2 days.
We haven't touched on the products, we haven't touched on the management. We have, there's a whole lot of range that we need to talk about on bamboo. And at any given opportune time, we will come back here.
Definitely.
And we need just to let the community know that there's something that can actually elevate us from poverty. And one of the things that can bring money into farmers' pockets quickly, sustainably, and ensuring that our environment is well kept are tree products or wood products. And bamboo sits at the top list of that.
All right.
Yes.
Thank you so much, Victor, for your time. I definitely want you here back again to just dig much more. I mean, there are issues here that we didn't even touch.
Yes.
We'll definitely have another session on bamboo. This has been Business Center, talking about matters business and business agriculture. This Wednesday, the 30th of September, the last day of the month. Thank you so much for your time. Don't go anywhere, because we have great programs lined up for you. From me and Victor here, we say have a blessed day.
Thank you.